Welcome back to the Headline Roast, where today's news crashes harder than Wall Street after a Fed rate hike and flies weirder than a UFO over your engagement photos. It's Friday, April 25th, 2025. And today's headlines include everything from tragic air disasters and doom spending sprees to haunted mayoral candidates and sausage recalls you didn't see coming. We've got Wall Street pretending everything's fine, Purdue flexing its alumni dollars, and a UFO proving once again that aliens have better comedic timing than half of Hollywood. In short, it's weird, it's wild, it's exactly what you need before the weekend. Let's dive in, toast the absurdity, and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. Subscribe if you've ever laughed, face-palmed, or rage-shopped your way through the news. We roast headlines daily so you can sound smart, or at least hilariously cynical, without scrolling 6 apps or doom-scrolling your soul away. Story 1. Plane crash claims lives of 5 police officers in Thailand. A parachute training session turned tragic when a small plane crashed into the ocean near Hua Hin, Thailand. 5 police officers lost their lives in the crash, prompting a national outpouring of grief. The aircraft had been conducting a routine drop before engine failure forced it down into shallow waters. Eyewitnesses described the scene as chaotic and heartbreaking, with rescue efforts mobilized within minutes. Thailand's Prime Minister called for an immediate investigation into aviation safety standards. This is the second high-profile aviation accident in Southeast Asia this year, raising concerns over aging fleets. Critics blame lax regulations. Officials promise full transparency, a phrase that has rarely comforted grieving families. Meanwhile, funeral preparations are underway, and the nation remains in mourning. Even paradise sometimes collides with tragedy, and this time it hit the beach. Story 2. Russian general killed in Moscow car bombing. Moscow is buzzing, and not in a good way, after a car bomb took out Lieutenant General Yaroslav Moskalik. The explosion happened in Balashikha, a suburb usually considered safe, which has authorities rattled. Sources suggest this wasn't random. Moskalik had recently overseen controversial operations abroad. Putin's administration quickly blamed external threats, while critics whisper about internal feuds. Security in the region has been ramped up, with checkpoints and heightened surveillance. Locals are reportedly nervous, as random car checks and sweeping raids become daily occurrences. International observers warn that this could mark an escalation of underground power struggles. Meanwhile, social media users speculate wildly, from spy thrillers to NATO gone rogue theories. The truth, likely complicated, grim, and locked behind a dozen different NDAs. Either way, Moscow isn't sleeping easy tonight. Story 3. U.S. consumer sentiment drops. Again, amid tariff fears, Americans' wallets are officially in their feelings again. The University of Michigan's latest survey shows consumer sentiment plummeted for the 4th month straight. Blame rising tariffs, political instability, and that creeping feeling your grocery bill is gaslighting you. Confidence has dropped to 52.2. PK, not great, not terrible, but mostly terrible. Economists warn that sustained low sentiment could lead to real economic contraction. Retailers, meanwhile, are bracing for tighter purse strings and more. Let's wait until next quarter decisions. Meanwhile, big box stores are launching increasingly desperate mega sales on everything from kayaks to toasters. Tariffs, inflation, and doom scrolling. The holy trinity of financial dread. It's a rough time to check your 401, but a great time to invest in meme stocks and denial. Story 4. Wall Street ends week flat despite tech gains. It was a week of emotional whiplash for Wall Street. After 3 caffeine-fueled rally days, stocks decided to take a nap. The Dow rose 20 points. Nasdaq gained 1.3%. But overall, the markets hit a speed bump called uncertainty. Tech tried to carry the team, with Nvidia flexing strong earnings. Unfortunately, bank stocks, energy sectors, and consumer goods all called in sick. Analysts are divided. Is this healthy consolidation, or the calm before the next tantrum? Traders finished Friday, quietly Googling signs of recession while pretending everything's fine on CNBC. And somewhere, a Bloomberg anchor polished off a third martini. Story 5. UFOs spotted over New York sparks wave of memes. New Yorkers are built different, and nothing proves it more than this week's UFO sighting over Manhattan. A bright, pulsating orb hovered over the city skyline Thursday night, briefly lighting up social media. Naturally, reactions ranged from aliens, duh, to, if it's not delivering pizza, I don't care. The FAA insisted there was no credible threat, which, to be fair, they also said about Spirit Airlines. Meanwhile, conspiracy theorists dusted off their tinfoil hats and promptly blamed Beyoncé, TikTok, and shadow governments. Experts say it was probably a weather balloon, because apparently that's still the go-to excuse in 2025. Still, eyewitnesses described erratic movements and weird humming, which sounds suspiciously like my old roommate. Mayor Adams said he's monitoring the situation, which in New York speak means good luck, you're on your own. In the end, the UFO zipped away, leaving behind only memes, confusion, and the occasional existential crisis. Aliens, if you're reading this, we recommend you try New Jersey next time. Lower expectations. Story 6. Purdue's $100 million football facility. Because apparently alumni love bricks more than degrees in a move that screams priorities. Purdue University just announced a $100 million investment not in academics, but in football. The new athletic complex will feature luxury suites, wellness centers, cryotherapy chambers, and presumably a shrine to misplaced ambition. University officials claim it will enhance the student-athlete experience, though critics wonder when enhancing students became optional. Alumni donors reportedly lined up to fund the project faster than they ever funded a chemistry lab. Current students, meanwhile, are asking if they can get Wi-Fi in the library before another spa for linebackers. The football team went 4-8 last season, but hey, maybe a hot tub will fix that. Administrators insist this will raise the school's profile, because nothing says prestige like a steam room next to a weight room. Meanwhile, Purdue's engineering department quietly muttered something about building rockets, not locker rooms. As for the fans, they're just hoping this $100 million also buys a functioning offensive line. Story 7. Massive sausage recall hits. U.S. stores. Unidentified materials found. Summer BBQ season just took a major L. The USDA announced a nationwide recall of over 60,000 pounds of pork. Sausages after unidentified materials were discovered. Translation: you don't want to know, but you definitely don't want to bite into it. Affected brands include several popular names you probably had in your freezer or your 4th of July dreams. Officials advise consumers to check the package dates carefully and please, dear God, don't taste test. Social media users immediately dubbed it the meat mystery, because nothing says summer like existential dread about your bratwurst. Experts suspect the contaminants may include plastic, metal, or other production debris, also known as the crunchy bits of sadness. In response, grilling enthusiasts everywhere are Googling vegan BBQ recipes for the first time in their lives. One brave optimist on Reddit insisted it was probably just extra flavor. He has since been banned from 3 group chats. Stay safe out there, grill masters. Not all sausages are created equal. Story 8. Haunted candidate. Chicago mayoral hopeful claims ghosts endorse her campaign only in Chicago would election season involve the supernatural. Mayoral candidate Leila Caro stunned voters this week by declaring she has the full endorsement of benevolent spirits. At a press conference, she claimed ghostly figures appeared to her during meditation, urging her to fix the city's karma. Skeptics naturally assumed this was either a PR stunt tour, a side effect of living above an old speakeasy. Caro's platform now officially includes spiritual healing for public transportation, an energetic cleansing of city council chambers. One reporter asked if the spirits had any views on tax reform. She replied, they're working on it. Meanwhile, her opponent called for a Ghostbuster audit to make sure no PAC money was crossing realms. Polls show a modest bump in Caro's support, mostly among voters who already sage their apartments monthly. Say what you want, but if the afterlife is weighing in on politics, Chicago is more haunted than anyone realized. And honestly, Story 9. Bank CEO says AI will replace half of finance jobs faster than you think. In a speech that definitely didn't terrify anyone, The CEO of Titan Bank warned that artificial intelligence could wipe out 50% of finance jobs within the next 5 years. He described it as an exciting frontier, which is corporate for good luck explaining this to your mortgage lender. Analysts, compliance officers, and even junior traders are suddenly rethinking those six-figure student loans. Meanwhile, AI programs are already crunching numbers, writing reports, and probably judging you for buying that NFT in 2022. Critics argue that human intuition still matters, but so far, machines haven't needed a coffee break or a LinkedIn brag post. Some finance brothers are reportedly coping by enrolling in coding boot camps or leaning into their passions, which somehow all involve podcasts. Titan Bank's stock jumped after the speech because nothing excites Wall Street like firing people efficiently. Union groups are demanding safeguards, while executives are mostly demanding bigger stock options. In short, if you work in finance, it's a great time to diversify your skills, or at least practice your welcome to Starbucks smile. The future's here, it's efficient, and it's coming for your spreadsheets. Story 10. Fast food chains test $10 economy meals.
Ass!
As customers rebel against $18 burgers, good news for your wallet. Bad news for your arteries. Fast food giants are quietly rolling out new $10 economy meal bundles. After months of viral outrage over $18 Big Macs and $20 Taco Bell runs, brands are finally noticing that broke customers still have Twitter accounts. McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King are testing smaller, cheaper combo options designed for budget-conscious diners, aka most of us. The bundles typically include a sandwich, fries, and drink, and a side of existential shame. Executives insist they're listening to consumers, although some say it's more about listening to quarterly earnings calls. Either way, TikTok users are already comparing bundle deals like it's a new tier list. Some skeptics worry it's just shrinkflation with extra PR glitter like fewer fries in a fancier box. Still, in a world where $30 gets you a salad and a scolding, $10 for carbs and regret sounds like a nostalgic bargain. Just don't look too closely at the fine print or the sodium content. Because in America, the economy may crumble, but value meals will rise again. Brain teaser, since yesterday's brain teaser was what has a face and 2 hands but no arms or legs. Hint, it tells time but never spills tea. Answer reveal for today would be? Answer, a clock. Now for today's new brain teaser question. Here's one that fits your show's witty and slightly cynical vibe. It's still accessible and fun. Today's brain teaser: the more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Hint, you leave me everywhere, but you can't ever pick me back up. And that's a wrap for today's ride through absurdity, tragedy, finance dread, haunted elections, alien memes, and questionable sausages. We laughed, we cringed, we stared into the abyss of AI unemployment, and somehow we still crave a $10 burger. If you survived today's roast with your brain intact, do yourself a favor. Subscribe now. We roast the headlines daily so you can sound smart, or at least less miserable, without doom-scrolling yourself into therapy bills. New episodes every weekday and weekend. Stay weird, stay skeptical, and remember, even aliens probably think we're overrated.